Hey guys, it's Jessica with LuLaRoe PGH Jess. I am making this video because I assume if you're watching it, it's because you're really considering becoming a LuLaRoe consultant. And if you're anything like I am, that means you have 1,000 different questions and you're trying to get as much information as possible. So, what I hope to cover in this video is why I personally became a LuLaRoe consultant, what are the steps you should take when making your decision, what then happens when you sign up, and pretty much what takes place before the time that your inventory arrives at your house. Because I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to sign up for this, all of a sudden have all of this clothing here and think, what the heck am I supposed to do with this stuff? So for me, I became a LuLaRoe consultant for two main reasons. The first reason was I feel like I'm the kind of person who, as I already mentioned, asks a million questions, which I think is a good thing, but then I double guess it. I think it through a million times. I ask everybody I've ever met for their advice, and in the end, I decide that it's probably a horrible idea and it's too risky, and I don't do it. And then 6 months or a year later, I look back and I think, what was I thinking? Why didn't I do that? And I just didn't want to let another opportunity pass me by. The other reason, and this might not make sense to you unless you can relate, but the other reason that I'm doing this is I have an 18-month-old daughter who I love so much, and I have a career that I am really passionate about as well. But I have felt for a while now that there's just something missing a little bit. When I think about what really makes me happy, who am I? What are my hobbies? And LuLaRoe is a lot more than a hobby to me, but when I think about these things, for a while, I didn't really have anything. And I didn't like that. And so I really wanted something that I could pour myself into, that I could put energy into, but love doing and be passionate about and get energy in return and get, this sense of reward in return. And so those are the two main reasons. I think that also knowing that I could have a little extra money to pay off some student loans or to make some home improvements that I didn't think we'd be able to make for a while is also a good reason, and I think that's on everybody's list. But so for me, I started thinking about this, I started becoming more serious about it, and I didn't really know what to do. And so I did what you're probably doing now, which is I searched the internet, I watched YouTube videos, but then what I decided to do was I reached out to a couple of people, none of whom I knew personally, and I said to them basically, hey, are you happy that you're doing this? Do you have any regrets? Is there anything you know now that you wish you knew when you started? And basically just, can you give me any advice? And really what I heard echoed over and over and over again was, I'm so happy that I'm doing this and I don't regret it at all. And that really kind of gave me the confidence that I needed to get going. So the first thing that you do when you decide that you want to become a LuLaRoe consultant is you find a sponsor. Finding a sponsor is really easy to do. So easy that I think you have every right to be a little bit picky about it. So when you pick a sponsor, there are a couple of things that I think are really important. The first thing is you need to have a sponsor that you're comfortable with. This is the person who is your lifeline into the LuLaRoe business. They are going to show you everything that you need to know. They are going to walk you through everything. They are really going to be there for you. And so you need somebody who you can talk to, somebody who is going to answer your questions, somebody who's going to be responsive basically to you. This doesn't mean that they need to be your, best friend, but they need to be somebody that you can establish a relationship with. The other thing that I think is really important, and these are two things that just kind of go hand in hand, I think you need to have somebody who is a big supporter of yours. So what I mean by that is you need somebody who's in your corner, somebody who's going to say, you got this, you can do this, I know you have what it takes, here are the tools that you need, here are the things that you need to be able to be successful. But the other thing you need from a coach is you need somebody who's going to be realistic with you, right? Because if your sponsor isn't realistic with you and isn't telling you things that you need to be told, I don't think that helps you either. So what I mean by this is I think that you need somebody who's going to say, hey, that was an awesome sale. You did a great job. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. Or who's going to say, hey, that last sale was a good sale, but I know it wasn't what you wanted, or I know there were some glitches along the way, and what can we do? How can we work together to get you where you need to be? Also, they need to be somebody who says, hey, your goals are great goals. You got these goals. Or, you know what? I think you're shooting yourself a little low. Maybe you could actually strive a little more, reach a little higher. Or alternatively, hey, you said you wanted to make, I don't know, $50,000 in the first month. It's probably not going to be probably not going to happen. So let's be a little bit more realistic and set attainable goals. So I think you need somebody who's going to be your support, but who's also going to be real with you. Okay, so once you find a sponsor, the next thing is your sponsor is going to email you a packet of information. That information has 3 key parts, and these are the parts that you fill out to become a consultant with LuLaRoe. So the first thing is a contract. Read through it. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing that's going to jump out and be shocking to you, but look at that. The second thing is a form that you fill out that basically allows LuLaRoe to deposit money into your checking account. That's how you'll get paid. That is not how you have to pay for your initial inventory. But I would highly recommend that you think about opening a separate checking account, or if you have more than one checking account, devote one just to LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe does not pay you monthly. They do not pay you bi-weekly. You make a sale and 2 or 3 days later, that money gets put right into your account. And so as you get rolling, you are going to have money deposited pretty frequently, hopefully, into your account. And so for tax purposes, for business expense purposes, sometimes that can get a little murky if you also have, the takeout that you ordered on there, or your Walmart trip, or you get the point. So you do that. And then the last thing is your onboarding checklist. Pretty much what this is it's what you will order for your initial inventory. So with LuLaRoe, you cannot start and just have leggings, for example, or just have a dress, for example. You will have, at least as of right now, a skirt, a dress, a shirt, and leggings. And there are some other things you get to pick. And so you pretty much decide right from the beginning what it is that you want to carry. For me, this was like the biggest decision of my life. Looking back, I will say to you, don't stress about this too much. So a couple things I thought about when I decided what to order, because really nobody could tell me what to order. I just had to, make up my mind. Every single thing that LuLaRoe creates sells. There is a group of people somewhere that loves every dress and every skirt and every item. So what I thought about, one, was what is the climate going to be like when I start selling these items? So for me, I live somewhere that gets really cold and we get a lot of snow. It didn't make sense for me, in my opinion, to start off selling the maxi skirt. I love maxi skirts. I fully plan on adding them on, but people around here where I live don't buy maxi skirts or wear maxi skirts at this time of year. So I thought about that. I wanted to make sure that the items that I bought had some diversity. What I mean by that is I bought one of the most expensive dresses. So I wanted to make sure that maybe the skirt I picked wasn't as expensive because I wanted there to be different price points. I chose to carry 2 shirts right off the bat. You may not. But I wanted to make sure that the 2 shirts that I picked weren't horribly similar, because I felt like if somebody didn't like one shirt that I had, well, then they had an opportunity to really love the other one. And then the last thing that I think is really important is you have to really love the items that you're selling. Because I think in the beginning, it's so much easier to convey your excitement and convey your love for this product when you actually love what you have, when you're willing to wear it. People see you out and about in it. So I think that that's important too. So that's how I decided on my inventory. So you submit all of this paperwork to LuLaRoe, and it usually takes them anywhere from 3 business days to upwards of a week, I would say, to process it. They will then call you and say, hey, good news, we got everything. Everything's good to go. Are you ready to order? And over the phone, you go through your order. If there's anything out of stock or anything on back order, they discuss it with you then, and you place your order. You can pay however you decide. So credit card, checking account, you can split the tender. So if you want to put it on 2 different cards, that's fine. And they say, congratulations, you're good to go. And you hang up and think, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I really hope this wasn't a horrible idea. It wasn't. Um, so now you have some time because it's going to take probably a week, I would guess, maybe 10 days for you to get this initial order. It takes them about 3 or 4 days to process it and ship it out, and then it's shipping from California. So depends a little bit there. During this time, prepare. You know, there are a lot of things that need to be done. Your sponsor will walk you through all of this. But just to give you a couple highlights, because again, I wanted to know everything I needed to know. After you place your initial inventory, I would plan on having another $300 to $500 available for other purchases. You will need to think about where are you going to store your clothes and how. So maybe you need to buy storage racks, clothing racks. Maybe you need to buy hangers. Maybe you need to buy storage bins. If you're selling online, you're going to need to take pictures. So how are you going to do that? Do you need a lighting system because you're going to take your pictures at night? Do you need a tripod? Do you need a backdrop? You know, there are a lot of little things like that that you'll want to figure out. You want to get your Facebook page ready and your Instagram and any other social media that you might use, Twitter or Periscope or whatever it is. So you want to get that stuff set up. Order business cards. The other thing that you want to think about is this is a business. And so you need to be organized with your paperwork. There are things to help you with this, but get organized. You know, have a plan on how you're going to track everything, how you're going to do everything. So then when your clothes get here, the real fun can start. You're not stressing out about all the stuff that needs to be done. So those are really the big things. I think that as a whole, LuLaRoe is an amazing company. I want it to be the right fit for you, but ask questions. Make sure that it is. When the time comes that you want to find a sponsor, if you get to that point, feel people out, you know, find somebody who's a good fit for you. Reach out to me if you want to. You can find me on Facebook at LuLaRoe PGHJess. You can drop me an email at LuLaRoePGHJess@gmail.com. I found my sponsor through her YouTube videos because I felt like I was able to connect with her, so that was my shameless plug. But reach out to people, find people. It's a fun process, so have fun with it. All right, I hope that was helpful. Thank you.